Welcome to Bharat Marg, Mr. Patrick Brown, the mayor candidate for Brampton.
Great to be on your show.
Yeah, this program is called Know Your Candidate. So that our goal at Bharat Marg is very simple. We have a policy discussion, so that the people can not only can go and vote, which they have to do it kind of to exercise their rights, and not only that, but to choose who is the right candidate to vote for. That's our idea.
Well, it's an important service. Everyone deserves to know what the candidates stand for.
Absolutely. My question is, Mr. Patrick, what is your plan for Brampton? Like economically, where do you see, how do you see having a mayor of Brampton as Patrick Brown? What do you see?
Well, we're going to make sure Brampton is back on track. Right now, Brampton is hurting. Taxes are now higher than Toronto's for the first time. Crime is going through the roof. Traffic is a mess, and City Hall right now is dysfunctional. The mayor is fighting with council. The mayor is fighting with the chief of police. We can do better. We need jobs in Brampton. And right now, 2/3 of the city leaves each day. I'm going to turn things around. I'm going to get Brampton back on track. I'm going to freeze your property taxes for the next 4 years. I'm going to make sure we have a safe community with zero tolerance on all crime. I'm going to fight for our fair share to make sure provincially and federally we get the dollars our community deserves to have proper, modern transit. I can't wait to get to work. We need to get this great city turned around.
Awesome. What is your plan regarding the university? I know that they are bringing the university for the kids here. Will you be able to bring the full-fledged university? How do you see it?
Well, it's very disappointing. The mayor promised us that we were going to get a university, and it turns out now we're just getting this small satellite campus. Markham is getting 10,000 students, and the mayor only got us 1,500. Markham, 10,000 students is a small, and Markham small compared to Brampton. We're getting 1,500 students. That's barely a high school. Algoma right now is 1,000 students. Sheridan's 10,000 students. We already have 2 satellite campuses. We need a real, full university. I'd love to see a university at Brampton.
Will you be able to bring it?
I'm going to fight for it. It's up to the province, but I'm going to fight for it. I think it's a failure of political leadership that we get another satellite campus.
Yeah, that's cool because we need a university here, right? And another biggest problem in Brampton is the auto insurance is huge, high. When you move into Brampton, you find the difference, right? What is your plan for that?
So auto insurance is regulated by the province. Any mayor candidate who says they're going to cut your auto insurance would be lying. I'm going to tell everyone exactly what is the truth, regardless if it's good news or bad news. On auto insurance, we need to get the province to treat Brampton fairly. When I was in provincial politics, I put forward a proposal that would ban geographical discrimination on auto insurance. It means you can't charge more to someone based on what postal code they live. Recently, the new Premier was asked at a press conference if he would honor Patrick Brown's commitment on auto insurance to end geographical discrimination. The new Premier has said he's going to look into it by December. Listen, if the Premier doesn't address this, I will, as Mayor of Brampton, speak on behalf of our community and say to the new Premier, don't forget 95% of the PC membership ratified the policy document pledging to end geographical discrimination in auto insurance. It's not right that someone who lives in Caledon can have auto insurance that is half the price of someone in Brampton.
This brings me to an important question, right? You have many competitors running for the same position as a candidate of Brampton. And if you see any candidate, whether it is Linda Jeffrey or whomever it is, they are all from Brampton, okay? And you are an outsider to Brampton. How much you understand Brampton? And
I live in downtown Brampton. I live near Gage Park. I love Brampton.
When was this?
Long time. I live in Gage Park, right near Gage Park. Before I was a member of Parliament, I practiced law here in Brampton. I've had family in Brampton for 40 years.
Really?
This is a great community. But listen, I know what the mayor said. The mayor said only long-term residents should have the right to run for mayor. I disagree. This is a country where ideas matter. And to think that you have to be a 35-year resident, I don't think is fair in a community that is built by new Canadians who have said, this is the land of opportunity, this is the land where work ethic matters, this is a city where ideas matter. You know, following the mayor's requirement, you look at Amarjot Sandhu, our new MPP in Brampton West. 10 years ago he was an international student. Good for him. He's now a member of the provincial legislature. He came to Canada 10 years ago. He worked hard, and now he's in the legislature. There are not barriers here based on those that have come to our community recently. And I have to say, to think that you have to be here for 35 years, it's not about who your parents are. It's not about who's been a member of the country club the longest. It's ideas that matter.
So what made you to choose running for Brampton? Why not Mississauga or some other place?
Well, I live in Brampton. My family's been in Brampton for, I've had family here for decades. I worked in Brampton before I was an MP. It was a no-brainer.
Absolutely. Thanks for clarifying that. Okay, it's a very good information.
Yeah.
And now that leads me to another question. You know, how is your relationship with Premier Doug Ford, and will it help or hurt Brampton City when you are running as a mayor?
So for the last 4 years, Linda Jeffrey said we'd get good results because she was best friends with Kathleen Wynne. They were colleagues. They were MPPs together. They were best friends. Linda Jeffrey went out on our Twitter highlighting Kathleen Wynne. Kathleen Wynne went out saying what a great friend Linda Jeffrey was. And we were promised we'd get a new hospital, a university, modern transit. We got nothing. No new hospital, no new transit. We don't get our own university. Best friends for 4 years, and we got nothing. Now Hazel McCallion, the mayor of Mississauga, you know, she would tear a strip off premiers and prime ministers who didn't deliver for Mississauga. She'd get results. It's not about being best friends. Listen, I can sit down with Doug Ford, I can sit down with Justin Trudeau and say that we expect their support for Brampton. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be their best friend. I want results for Brampton. I don't care if this...
So you think relationships are not that important as much
I don't care if it's the Conservatives in Queen's Park or the Liberals in Ottawa. My party is the people of Brampton. My party is the people here that have not got results. And Hazel McCallion never tried to be best friends. She demanded results. She stood up for her community.
Okay.
I'm not interested in going to suck up. I'm going to demand results for the city of Brampton, because I'm tired of the city being forgotten. I'm tired of this city simply getting leftover scraps.
Great. You know, now let me ask you from an Indian perspective, okay? Because our magazine is more of Sanatana magazine, so I'm more interested about my country back home where I am from also, okay? Are you for United India or for divided India?
I think a united India is strong, and I think united Canada is strong.
Will you support the terror outfits?
Well, no one supports terror outfits.
You know, like Khalistan.
So listen, in Canada and in India, no one supports any form of terrorism. But one thing that I'm going to say is sometimes you try to bring politics from other countries back to Canada. And I think it's important we don't do that. I think it's important we focus on how we can make Brampton prosperous. Everyone who's come here wants to contribute to Brampton. Everyone that wants to come to Canada wants to make this a better country.
Very true. Yeah. But see, we have a major concern in our community. When we say Patrick Brown name, okay, they say, yeah, he is a good man, we should vote for him, but, okay, what is a but? They say, you know what, when the genocide motion came, you know, Patrick Brown just didn't show up and he didn't support India. He just disappeared by abstaining from the vote. What do you say to that?
So, listen, this has nothing to do with the Mayor of Brampton's debate, but
true, but you know,
but let me just say, there was innocent lives lost in 1984 on both sides. There were Sikh families that lost their lives. There was Hindu families that lost their lives. Listen, it was a sad chapter in India's history, and let me say this: all countries have struggled with different chapters. You look at Canada. You know, the history we have with Indigenous relations. We have our own challenges. But having said that, am I a friend to India? Of course. Do I support a united India? Of course. But let me stress this. There are attempts to always bring up these old debates. I don't think that's helpful.
No, because see, our people who are going to vote, okay, I'll be honest with you, many people in India, they love Patrick Brown.
Yes.
Okay, there is no question about it. It's an open secret, you know that. Okay, but they have this but. Okay, what you will address to them, if you are looking at somebody in the eyes and say, I am with you for United India, you can just talk to the audience who are having that concern.
Listen, if someone has doubts, don't vote for me. I'm gonna get Brampton back on track. I'm gonna make this the envy of the GTA. I help all communities. For me, this is not about one community. This is about making sure that every community has a voice, has a home in the city of Brampton. If you want to vote for me, great. We're going to do great things for this city. If you don't want to, you don't. That's democracy. You don't have to.
And now, like Toronto, under Patrick Brown mayorship, will Brampton become a sanctuary city which is giving the refugees flooded in? What is your policy towards refugees, illegal immigrants and sanctuary city?
So immigration is set by the federal government, and
many cities say welcome here.
But ultimately it's up to the federal government. You can be a sanctuary city, but ultimately immigration is set by the federal government. It's like the recent debate about whether to ban handguns. That's ultimately not up to a city. It's up to the federal government. Cities can make whatever proclamations they want, but you have to respect the jurisdictions that exist. And listen, I'm proud that Canada is an inclusive country. I'm glad that Canada is a beautiful multicultural mosaic. But I would say, as immigration increases, the federal government has the duty to provide the necessary funding for it. And right now, I think there's a real debate about, is there adequate funding for settlement? You want to have proper. You want to continue to have a successful Canadian immigration system. There also has to be appropriate settlement, and I don't think there has been the adequate settlement in some areas.
Let me ask this last question for better understanding. So, under Patrick Brown, is there any chance that Brampton can become a sanctuary city?
So, you use that term.
Because it is being largely used by a lot of your colleagues in the mayorships.
Yeah, and so will Brampton be a welcoming, inclusive city under Patrick Brown? 100%. A welcoming and inclusive city. In terms of the immigration policies that exist federally, we're not. It's not up to the city of Brampton to set those immigration policies. It's up to the government of Canada. We're going to have a federal election in a year, and for those that disagree with immigration policies, they'll have their chance to express their voice. But Brampton will do our best to serve everyone in this community that lives in Brampton, that has come to Brampton through our legal immigration system.
Awesome. Do you want to look at our readers and say something for them? I'm done with the questions. If you want to say, you are open to.
Yes, it's Patrick Brown, and I want to get Brampton back on track. If you want to get involved in our campaign, you can go to votepatrickbrown.com or on Instagram and Twitter at PatrickBrownONT.
Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Patrick.
Okay.
Appreciate it.